What's up YouTube, it's Crystal Knight here coming at you for another video. Today is going to be one of the divisive days when it comes to my Yu-Gi-Oh career. Mostly because Crystal Beasts have had a wild change in the last week. Everywhere all over the US they're coming in second in tournaments and stuff, which is great, that's what we want. But I've also discovered a couple things that have been quite troubling when it comes to Crystal Beasts, and I think this deck profile is going to review those. So we're going to be doing a side deck, we're going to do an extra deck, and we're going to do a main deck profile for this one. And I know you're not going to like a lot of what I have to say. So this deck profile runs 3 Rainbow Dragons, just pure Rainbow Dragons, 2 Elemental Hero Neos, 3 Ash Blossom. I know you're not going to see a lot of variety in this, but you'll see what I have to say here in a bit. 3 Crystal Beast Rainbow Dragons, 3 Sapphire Pegasus, and then obviously one of each of the main. Obviously you can take one of these out. Most players would probably take out Tortoise, he's the least useful, or maybe even Amethyst Cat. However, that's due to nostalgia. I cannot bring myself to take any of these out. I just cannot do it. Onto the traps, we're going to be doing 3 Infinite Impermanence, just a really good card. We're going to be running 3 Crystal Conclave. We're going to be running 3 Crystal Miracle, blah. That didn't come out right. We're going to be running 3 Crystal Beacon. We're going to be running 3 Rainbow Bridge. We're going to be running 3 Neos Fusion. You'll see why in a bit. And then we will be running 2 Awakening of the Crystal Ultimate. Now this is going to be the part of the video where a lot of people are probably going to hit dislike. Before you do that, I want to bring up a factor that most people mostly ignore. When you're running this deck, the last thing you want to do is pull 2 of these in your starting hand. Because if you do that, you just have 1 dead card in your hand, and that is something you do not want to do. The last thing a player wants is to be holding a brick. When it comes with Crystal Beast Fusions, especially Neos Fusion, you are going to brick every once in a while, and this is to mitigate that as much as possible. And then we're going to go to 2 Crystal Bond. I got my purple one here that I ordered a long time ago. You'll see that in my older deck profiles. And then True Rainbow Bridge of the Heart. This is the part of the video where people are leaving, but honestly, if you are running 3 Bridge of the Heart, you probably are going to brick on drawing 2 of them, and that's something you really do not want. I'm telling you, you do not want this. This card likes to return itself to the hand, and it is searchable. A lot of people don't consider the Rainbow Bridge section of it to work with, let me see here, with Awakening of the Crystal Ultimate. It does work, because you can use this card to send another Rainbow Bridge from your deck to the grave, and that card will be in the side deck. Alright, let's move on to the extra deck. If you're still here, I know you're probably not too happy with that, but in the extra deck we're going to be running 3 Rainbow Neos. Now I know what you're thinking, Christian, I only saw you playing 2 Elemental Hero Neos. Yeah, that's for the side deck. Honestly, if you're running more than 50 cards in the main deck, you're going to brick more often than not, and you're not going to get any of the pulls that you want. So we're going to 3 Rainbow Neos, 3, oh god, that's all messed up. Here we go. Then we got 3 Ultimate Crystal wait, where's the other one? Here he is. Super mixed up. We got 3 Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragons Overdrives. This card's really good. It loops itself, which is really great. You can wipe the board and have a 1100 beater on the end. And then you got 3 Rainbow Overdragons. This card's really good. It's a lot easier to get out now. I'm not running any of its fusion spells in the main deck. Just so you know, you can use the fusion spell to summon the new Crystal Beast, Ultimate Crystal Rainbow Dragon. So if you want to, you can, but trap cards are kind of slow, and that's not what you want. Then we got 2 Baguska. Really good card. I know you're looking at this and you're like, why are you running 2? Well, it's mostly for what's in the the side deck. Then we have Dark Rebellion Xyz Dragon. This is just a really nice rank 4 that you can get out. And then you've got yourself a Deep Sea Prima Donna. I was running this in my last deck profile. It's less consistently coming out due to Ash Blossom, but with Rainbow Bridge of the Heart, it is more likely to come out. Then we got one of my favorite cards in my extra deck, a Brute Enforcer. If you got an extra Crystal Beast in your hand and you just can't get rid of it, this is a great tool to just pop it in the grave. And at the same time, you can either get one of your opponent to destroy a card that they have, or they could discard a card. Either way, you have card advantage on that. Obviously, in Yu-Gi-Oh!, the less cards in your opponent's graveyard, the better off you are. But if you can get hand advantage, that might just balance it out. Then you have Decode Talker. You go straight from Brute Enforcer into Encode Talker with one of the many crystal pieces. You more likely will have summoned by the end of your turn. So yeah, it makes for less breakable boards. And then we get to the side deck. These are a bunch of 1-ofs that I think are really important. Most of them, anyway. We have Malefic Rainbow Dragon. That'll come in with the stuff in the sideboard here in a second. We have 2 Elemental Hero Spirit of Neoses. This is a great way to tech out into Rainbow Neos if you absolutely have to. Then you have 1 Elemental Hero Neos and 1 Rainbow Dark Dragon. You have 2 Polymerizations. Again, this is to turbo into Rainbow Neos if you need to. You got 1 Foolish Burial Goods. That's to get a card in this sideboard into the grave. You have 1 Advanced Dark. You have 1 Pot of Extravagance. Banishing 6 monsters from your extra deck is actually not as big of a price to pay when you have a lot of 3-ofs in here. So getting 2 cards in card advantage is really good. Then you got Crystal Aegis. I had this in the main deck profile there for a little bit, but after a while I started to notice that it wasn't pulling its weight. Even at 3, it kind of just put me back in card economy on the field and in my hand. 1 Crystal Promise. This is just to keep the motif up. And then we have 1 Ultimate Crystal Magic. Now, all of these crystal cards are searchable off of the bridge, which you can just add to your hand with another card, so that's great. You have Crystal Boon. This card is honestly not as good as it could be, but it's alright. Then we have Rainbow Bridge of Salvation. This is the card I was waiting on to build this deck profile. And while doing it, I realized I don't even want it in the deck. But at the end of the day, I can still sideboard it in, and I think, and you'll see my my thought on this here in a second. I'm going to separate these out into mostly support. I'm going to go through my planning with it here in a second. So I basically have 4 different ways to change my deck up. If I'm really having trouble with card economy, I'll just throw that in there. Mostly that'll just go here. So if I need to come out with more stronger monsters, I will put these 4 in my deck, replacing maybe a couple Crystal Beasts, and probably the Neos and the Neos Fusions mostly. That'll get me more card economy. And this is what you want to do if you want to just turbo into Neos if your other plans aren't working out for you. I would just swap all those in. And these are just to add more cards from your deck to your hand or grave, which is just really good. This deck profile took me through a really long and hard journey because I just wanted to make it. But with the new support, it makes it kind of difficult. I was on a crossroads with this one. yeah, that's the video. I know a lot of people aren't still around, but if you're here, click like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Peace out.